What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today we're going to get our first reputation guide for Warlords of Draenor, and it's going to be the Steamweedle Preservation Society. Now, this faction is pretty much based in Nagrand, and so you don't really have to worry about going all over the world. You just pretty much go in Nagrand, and there's going to be three different main ways of getting the reputation. First way is the High Maul relics. Now, these drop from elites in Nagrand, and they also can drop from the High Maul reliquaries. I'm going to show you guys those later on. The second way that you can get them is you turn in these Gorian artifact fragments, and what those are going to be is they're kind of like just the green version of the High Maul relics, and they're very easy to get also. And the rare elites that you can get, that you can kill, I'm going to be spending most of the video showing you guys that. They give like little epic items that you can drop, and you can turn those in, and those will also give you 500 reputation each. Now the rewards that you can get. Those two things right there, that little, I don't know, like the flower guy and the hippo, those are pets that you get from being revered. And like the most badass thing here is that you get a fucking boar that you can ride on. It's the same as like the Hellfire ones. And so I was like really excited about that because like as soon as I went to Hellfire Peninsula for the first time, I was kind of disappointed that you weren't able to ride one of those. But I guess it would be an issue because you'd be sitting on them and like his horn would be sticking in your ass or something like that. So like the epic items, this is where you turn those in, okay? And each rare spawn elite can drop one. It will drop one of these epic items every single time, and you can actually kill them multiple times a day. Apparently, that's where I am on the map. That's where you turn everything in. By the way, guys, I'm still kind of sick, and so if I have to like take a second, like a drink or whatever, I do apologize. But that's pretty much what's going on here. And I did do this before, but the video was shitty, and so I'm doing it again. Here's where the High Maul reliquaries are. Not they are. They can be all over the place. But here's what one of them looks like, okay? And again, these drop the High Maul relics, and they also drop the Gorian artifact fragments. The Gorian artifact fragments also are basically a 100% drop chance from any Ogre or Orgron in the zone, as well as a lot of the other different non-elite mobs in the zone. The High Maul relics, if you turn in one High Maul relic, that gives you 350 reputation. If you turn in 20 Gorian artifact fragments, that gives you 250. Where I am right now is where, I think it's like Gagrog or something like that. I can never pronounce these fucking names. Anyway, so this guy is obviously one of the ones that you need to kill. And I'm going to be speeding through most of this stuff. There's not really like a thousand things that I need to tell you guys about these different mobs. This guy has an enrage effect that you can purge and a frontal cone attack. Other than that, he doesn't really do much of anything. There's Gagrog's skull, and again, you turn that in, and each one of those is going to give you 500 reputation. These are elites, and so if you have shitty gear, you might have a hard time soloing them. But if you're a tank or a hunter or some sort of a pet class that's good at soloing, you won't really have much of a problem. Over here at the Cerulean Lagoon is where you're going to find a Noxagon. Now, he's like one of the phase beasts, and I don't really think that he does much of anything, honestly. He pretty much, yeah, he moves fast, but it doesn't fucking matter because I'm tanking him. This guy is easier. Like, one of them that I'll show you guys in a little bit is actually pretty fucking hard to kill because he has a lot of health, and so hopefully they'll change that. I don't really know if they will or not. But either way, none of these should be very difficult at all for any sort of a two-person group, unless it's like two mages or something weird like that. But other than that, all these should be pretty accessible and easy to kill by pretty much any other any player. No, this is the guy. This is the hippo. Like, this hippo is so fucking fat. He's got twice as much health as all of the other ones, and so it kind of took me a while to kill him. There he is, Mugra, something like that. He's big too. Look how fucking big he is. And he's over there in the ancestral grounds, right off the, I guess, kind of behind the ancestral grounds. And this guy does a lot of damage. He's probably the hardest one to kill. And it's not just because of a lot of health. He actually hits a lot harder than the other mobs. He does a knockback attack also. And this kind of took me a while to kill him. I think it took me like 3 minutes or something like that. So it's really kind of a pain in the ass. Now, if you guys have seen some of my other guides that I've done, with like the different like reputation guides and whatnot, you know pretty much the way that I kind of handle this is that I'm going to pretty much show you guys where all of them are on the map. But if you guys are ADD or you just don't give a fuck about hearing me talk about killing rare spawns, there's going to be a map at the end of the video, and I'm going to show you where they all are, right? And so you actually don't even have to be watching this video unless you want to see exactly what they look like, you know, where they are really on the map, and how, you know, like how you might want to kill them. But other than that, there's going to be a fully, I've created a map with like all the rare spawn locations. It's going to be no big deal. Now this guy is a real cock in the ass, okay? And the reason for that is that there's a bunch of other shit around him, and he can accidentally pull it. Now, my hunter right now is about 595 item level, and so he's not exactly, you know, the fucking, you know, he's not the best. All right, I couldn't think of anything clever by the time I finished that sentence. Anyway, so what you want to do is Xelganak, whatever, is you want to pull him back. You don't want to fight him where he stands, because then you run the risk of accidentally pulling some of the other little wasps, and I fucking hate wasps. And so, I mean, if I only have to deal with one, that's a best case. That's a second best case scenario. Best case scenario is obviously having to deal with 0. But anyway, this guy puts 2 dots. They're both poison debuffs, and so they can be dispelled by pretty much anything with a dispel, and then he dies. And so that's also really fucking cool, especially since he's a wasp, and you again get that thing to turn in. But he was not very hard to kill. That's where he is, and so anyway, so we'll just pretty much go on to the next one. There's nothing else really to say. Oh, this guy. God, man, fuck this bird. Oh my god. Alright, so what's going on with him is that he passed around to the, to the west of the, Throne of the Elements. And this place right here where I'm at, what is that, 6222 coordinates? Thek'talon is his name, and he's a bird, and this is the best place to pull him because you're in range to pull him, and he also, you know, you can pull him easily from right here where I am. And he drops a talon, and so that's pretty fucking not surprising. That's where he is, and where I'm moving my mouse around is where he pats around, to the best of my knowledge. By the way, I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that this is a good place to pull him. Now, Bergruu, he is a Kel'Thuzad, as you can see. Now, something happens here that is something I'm glad that this happened while I was on camera here, is that another elite came and attacked me. And obviously I was able to trap him, no big deal, right? Crisis averted. But let's say I don't have a CC, I'd be fucking dead. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you only pull these things one at a time, unless you're some kind of a fucking badass or something like that with, like, I don't know, 660, 670 here, right? And then you're going to have no problem probably fighting 2 at the same time. But anyway, so he dies pretty easily. He also does a frontal cone attack as well as a bleed. And so that's pretty standard as for a Kel'Thuzad, and that's where he is. But you just want to be careful to not aggro 2 at the same time, unless you're very well geared and or equipped to deal with that. And so here we are, right over here near Rockergol, and this is Direhoof, and he is a, what is he? He's a Talbook. And see, Talbooks have like this new buff now, when the more health they have, the more damage they do. And other than that, he does a charge. It just really doesn't fucking matter. If you don't stand in it, that's cool, but if you do, who gives a fuck, right? Doesn't even, here he is, he's doing the charge. Oh, I cut away, oh, he's doing it again, great. And so it did 300 damage to my pet, and so like that's 10%. So it does like 3,000 damage, or something like that, doesn't even matter. So he dies, and that's also really cool. I was hoping that these guys would drop something else, and as I said before, I killed the elephant, as you guys will see in a minute. I killed the elephant twice in one day, okay? And so what's going to be going on with that is that I was able to get 2 of his tusks, and so that was awesome. And so what that obviously means is that you can do this multiple times a day, and his is Dekorhan, something like that. And so you kill him, and also if somebody else tags it, you can both get the item, and so that's cool. Now, other than that, other ways to get reputation, I do want to talk about this for just a second, is that there are quests in Nagrand that are related to the Steamweedle Preservation Society that you can do, and also you can get a follower for the, what's it called, for your garrison from being revered. I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier. Anyway, here's the map, and you can see they're all color coordinated and all that, so it's going to be no big deal. But anyway, so guys, as a closing note, I just want to remind you and go over everything while I've got the map here, and this is pretty much in the video. Is the High Mall relics drop from the elites, and they give you 350 rep for each one that you turn in. and they also can drop from high roll reliquaries. The Gorian artifact fragments can drop from any non-elite in Nagrand, mostly the ogres and the Orgron, which they give a 100% chance of dropping it almost always. And also, they can also drop from the high roll reliquaries and like stacks of like probably 5 to 10, right? And on top of that, there are the quests, as I said before, and so make sure you do the quests that relate to the Steamweedle Preservation Society. And let me think if there's anything else I have to. Oh, and obviously the rare spawn items. But other than that, those are your best ways of getting a reputation with these guys. This rep is pretty easy to farm, and so I wouldn't really worry about it all too much. But as I said before, it does give you a mount. It gives you like a stupid trinket at Honored that you don't really want to worry about. It gives you the 2 pets Revered and the Garrison Follower, and most importantly, the mount and Exalted. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.